Hello and welcome to Maths at SWR. My name is Fraser Blackwood and I am the leader of learning of maths. And I'm going to talk you through three different areas how you could help your child while they are at SWR and looking a little bit into what they get up to in their maths lessons. So, how to support classwork and homework. We're going to look at three different ways. So be involved with their classwork and be able to find their scheme of learning and have a look at what they are studying in lesson. You can have a conversation with your son or daughter about that. The use of Hegarty Maths, use for revision, homework and understanding if there is maybe an unconfidence from their maths lesson on a particular topic. And then the final thing is a skills check. And that is 10 questions we look at each week, and it's a revision build up over each term of 10 key skills that you should have seen from previous, and they can access this from home as well. So the scheme of learning, we work on a mastery scheme from White Rose Maths. This is an example from year 10, and you can see as the weeks go up, as the weeks are on the top of this image, we can see the autumn term. So currently we are week 6, therefore we're into trigonometry in the autumn term, and this is the year 10, as I said. And you can see each topic is different. This is the same for every class in every year group at SWR. We're going to have a look at the link on Teams in a minute, but this is what it looks like, and we'll be able to access that and show you a little bit of more in-depth view of it in a second. As I said, the second thing, hegartymaths.com we use for homework. In Key Stage 4, we use a little bit of Hegarty Maths. We use a little bit of past paper practice for homework. We also sometimes have topic-specific questions, whereas in Key Stage 3, we rely much more on Hegarty Maths to deliver the homework that we would like your student to be able to do. This can also be used for revision. And if there's a lack of understanding from a lesson or there's an unconfidence from a lesson, then they can go to Hegarty Maths to be able to understand that. And there's approximately 900 different maths lessons on Hegarty that they are able to access, watch a little bit of maths taught by a maths specialist, and then follow it up with questions that are specific to that particular skill. The final thing with skills check, it's on Teams. It's an aid to long-term memory of skills previously taught. It takes a maximum 20 minutes. And it's easy to access and monitor. They keep a running score of what they get each week in school, and they're able to practice these skills from home as well. And that will aid the revision of those 10 skills that we look at each half term. So on Teams, that looks like this. So this is my year 10 team, and at the top there are 3 tabs, 2 we can't see, we'll click here in a second, but the first one we're going to look at is that scheme of learning. So if I click here, it opens up the website that our scheme of learning is from, and it's from White Rose Maths. Here's the year 7 one. Clicking the tabs you can view year 8, year 9, year 10 and so on. If I go into year 8, and the current one we're looking at in year 8 is multiplying and dividing fractions, because this line indicates down the middle half term. So this is the one that we are currently viewing. If I click on there, it opens up a website, and I can click on scheme of learning and a couple of other these little bits and bobs that you can have a look through. But that downloads a file when I click on scheme of learning, which I can open. And this is the scheme of learning in year 8 for multiplying and dividing fractions. As I scroll down, I'm looking for the small steps page, which is here. And this is what is specifically taught in those 2 weeks that we're looking at multiplying and dividing fractions. So you can see all the different topics. You can use this with Hegarty Maths to go and have a look at a particular skill, but this is what will be studied. If I just scroll back up to this part, this gives you a rundown of what is covered in each week, and there's a little more in-depth information about multiplying and dividing fractions, what should be seen and what maybe is not. Going back to small steps, if I keep scrolling down past that, there is a page and guidance and notes, key vocabulary, key questions that you can have a chat with your students about each of these small steps. So by the end of, or once it's been taught, they should be able to answer questions like these under the example questions. And you can have a conversation with your son or daughter about those. So that's the scheme of learning. Going back to Teams again, the two further tabs. First one's Hegarty Maths, which you can see here. They would need to click student login, and then they will get this page where they can input their name, date of birth, and they would access their Hegarty Maths. On Hegarty Maths, there's a tab at the top that says assignments. They click there, that is where the homework will be. If they want to access a particular thing they haven't understood or a bit of revision that they know they want to go and have a look at, there's a search bar at the top of the page once they've logged in, where they can search for a keyword, and it will bring up any video that involves that keyword. If there's lots, it might be worth having a conversation with their maths teacher to point them towards the one that they are particularly interested in. And the final one, further practice of these 10 questions. If we click here, we get this up. Depending which half term we're in, will depend which key skills we're looking at. We're currently in half term 1, so if I click there, it will bring up the 10 questions that we see in class. And you're able to have a look at one particular skill, for example. Maybe it's just number 1 that you want to make sure you get right and make sure you can do. It might be number 1, 2, and 3. You might want to have a go at all of them. But you can do this as many times. If you just click start again, we can click on half term 1 again, and it will generate those questions, but the numbers will change. You've got answers here, single answer at a time, or you can view all answers all at once, but you can have a look at these 10 key skills as many times as you want to make sure that you are able to do those 10 key skills that we look at each week in lesson. So that is a brief overview of how you can aid your son or daughter in maths at SWR. Thank you for listening. By all means, ask any further questions via email to my email address, which is f.blackwood@ and then the school email address, and I will get back to you. Thank you very much.